Hello and welcome to the MOOC on Media Laws and Ethics. Today the topic of my lecture is Press Council of India. First of all, let's look at the main objectives of my lecture today. They are to understand the background and formation of Press Council of India, to know its organizational structure, to understand its roles and functions, to understand its importance in media self-regulation in India. India achieved its independence in 1947 after a long struggle for freedom from foreign rule. During the freedom struggle, the press played a major role in not just taking the message of the leaders of the freedom struggle about the need for unity and the demand for freedom, but at the same time in mobilizing the people for the cause of independence. With many leaders of the freedom struggle starting their own newspapers for the purpose of forwarding the cause of independence, it could be said that the press in India till the 1947 had a mission. The mission was the freedom of the country. After 1947, India got a new constitution which declared India to be a democratic republic. However, after independence, many newspapers were found not to be following the principles of journalism, and many were also accused of practicing yellow journalism. So, in order to know the status of newspapers in India and to achieve the goal of establishing a robust, responsible and free press with high professional standards, and also to suggest ways and means for achieving it, the first Press Commission was appointed in 1952. The commission led by Justice G.S. Rajadhyaksha submitted its report in 1954 with many recommendations. Some of the important recommendations by the commission were establishing a press council for protecting press freedom and maintaining high standards of journalism, appointing a registrar of newspaper for India (RNI) for preparing the accounts of the press and their position on a yearly basis, introduction of price pages scheduled for protection of small newspapers from unethical competition. The commission wanted the conversion of the news agency Press Trust of India into a public corporation. It also wanted indigenization of capital and staff, especially at higher levels, and proprietary control by Indians in publications. The commission wanted a press consultative committee should be set up in order to maintain a cordial relationship between the government and the press. It also recommended the establishment of a newspaper financial corporation for protecting the freedom of the press and to help the newspapers against monopolistic tendencies of some big newspapers. Based on the recommendations of the first Press Council, the Parliament passed the Press Council Act in 1965. The Act paved the way for establishing a press council and the norms for functioning of the council. Subsequently, the Press Council of India was established on 16 November 1966. The main objectives of the Press Council of India are helping newspapers in maintaining independence, maintaining and improving standards of press in India, ensuring maintenance of high standards of public taste, bringing in a sense of responsibility and public service, and keeping a watch on cases of assistance received by any newspaper or news agency in India from foreign sources whenever it is referred to by the central government. As per the Press Council Act 1965, the Press Council of India consisted of one chairman and 25 members. The chairman was to be nominated by the Chief Justice of India, while 13 working journalists were nominated by journalist organizations. 6 newspaper owners and managers were nominated by newspaper organizations. 3 specialists were nominated by a committee comprising of the Chief Justice of India, Chairman of Press Council of India, and a representative from the President of India. Whereas 3 MPs were nominated by the Speaker of Lok Sabha and the Chairman of Rajya Sabha. 1 representative from news agencies was included in Press Council of India through an amendment to the Press Council Act in 1970. One of the darkest chapters in the history of Indian democracy took place when the emergency was imposed on 25th June 1975. During the emergency, all fundamental rights were suspended, including the right to freedom of speech and expression, under which the right to freedom of press comes. The emergency, which lasted till 21st March 1977, saw the repealing of the Press Council of India Act 1965. Subsequently, the Press Council of India was also dissolved in January 1976. However, after the emergency was lifted, elections were held and a new government was formed. The Press Council Act was then passed by the Parliament in 1978. This led to the reconstitution of the Press Council of India with Justice A.N. Grover as the chairman. However, the Act of 1978 made few changes in the selection process of the chairman and the composition of the Press Council of India. As per this Act, the Press Council of India comprised of 28 members and 1 chairman instead of 26 members and 1 chairman in the 1965 Act. The chairman, as per the 1978 Act, is nominated by a 3-member committee consisting of the Rajya Sabha chairman, Lok Sabha speaker and a representative of the members of Press Council of India. 13 journalists are nominated to the council by national organizations of journalists. Out of these 13 journalists, 6 are editors and 7 are working journalists. 6 newspaper owners and managers are nominated by newspaper organizations. 1 representative from news agencies continue to find a place in the council. 3 specialists from fields of art, culture, literature and law are nominated by the UGC, the Bar Council of India and the Sahitya Academy. Whereas 5 MPs find a place in the council, with 3 MPs nominated by the Speaker of Lok Sabha and 2 by the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. For its day-to-day functioning, the Press Council of India collects fees from registered newspapers and periodicals. However, the fees is collected only from those publications which have more than 5,000 circulation. If there is any deficit in the budget of the Press Council of India, it is funded by the Government of India through grants. Till now we have seen the role played by the newspapers during the freedom movement of India and how after the independence, as some newspapers digressed from the principles of journalism and were involved in unethical practices, there was a need for a press commission to look into the condition of press in India and also to suggest means and ways for establishing a robust and free press in India. We also saw how during the emergency the Press Council Act was repealed and the Press Council of India was disbanded. After the end of the emergency, when new government was formed, the Press Council Act was brought in again and the Press Council of India was reconstituted with minor changes to the rules of nomination of the chairman and the members.